Morning everyone, I hope you're doing alright. We're on day 6 of our devotional series, and I hope you're loving this. I hope you're loving reading through this story, and even if you're just reading the passages, I just encourage you to have a think about what the rest of the narrative is telling us. And so where we get to today is we traced it through from where Pharaoh says, no, basically, you're not going, and Moses kind of goes, oh no, and he makes it harder for the Israelites in Egypt as slaves. And today is where Moses comes to God and says, look, what was the point? If it's not going to work, if you're not going to deliver them, why did you send me? What I'm seeing here is not your plan. So how does that make sense in my head? And what God comes back with is this passage in Exodus 6 verses 7 to 9, where he says, this is what's going to happen. I will take you to be my people. I will free you. I will bring you into the land I promised you, and things are going to happen. And sometimes what we can get in our lives is we can look around, we can say, this isn't what you promised, God. This isn't what you said would happen. This doesn't seem right. And what I think we're offered here in this passage is license to say, and this is using a lyric of my own, I'm really sorry, but it's a lyric that I almost wrote but I haven't written yet, so you can have it, and it says, my situation doesn't define my destination. And all that means is that the circumstances that I see around me are not always going to be there. They're not always going to be the same, and actually what God promised, God's word is truer than what I'm seeing around me, because God was there before the situation was around me, and God will be there after the situation was around me. He's actually far too big for us to try and estimate, to try and guess, to try and even control in a way and say, I want you to do it now. He's too big, but actually because he's so big and because he's so powerful, he's the one we can rely on. I think it's really interesting how a lot of the time things seem to get worse before they get better. When we looked at this situation with the coronavirus and the government was saying, look, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And in this, what we see is that Moses tries to make things better and Pharaoh makes it worse, and it gets worse before it gets better. But actually what that means is that he's still going to step in. It might take more time than we think, but he's still going to step in, and what we see now, what we see around us is not what's always going to be, and it's not what God has promised. Our situation doesn't define our destination. So what I'd encourage you to do from this passage is actually it's really honest, and what Moses does is so good because he brings his struggles to God and he says, God, where are you? Like, what are you doing? And what we're reminded is that God is always on the move. God is always working. The story of the Exodus is God saying, look, I've done it before and I'll do it again. The whole way through the Old Testament is God saying, remember what I did for you, I'm going to do it again. And so if you're in a situation where you're really struggling with something, where you're looking, look, my situation doesn't look like what you've said to me, doesn't look like this freedom, doesn't look like deliverance, don't miss the message. God promises deliverance, and it might take some time and it might take some strength, but that's from him, and he's done it. He's so powerful, he did it before, he'll do it again. All I'd say is he's always on the move. Please bring your struggles to him. And I've got another song for you this week. The song is a song called Egypt by Corey Asbury. He's just actually released it, and it's singing in faith, but it's also singing reminding of what he's done. And he says, you stepped into my Egypt, you took me by the hand, you marched me out in freedom into the promised land. And I hope you enjoy the song this week, and I hope it brings you strength, and that you can sing it in faith, that the stuff that you're dealing with, he will deliver you from, and he will rescue us from. He's always on the move. Have a good week, guys.